It's Wednesday, the 19th of February, 2025. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 massive stories to get through in 5 minutes. Let's go with story number 1. The Reserve Bank has cut interest rates, but Governor Michelle Bullock made it clear there is not necessarily another cut on the way. She also defended the bank from the claims that the decision to drop the official cash rate by 25 basis points was political and said inflation risks remain alive and well in the economy.
In the official statement, the bank said it would be cautious about further rate cuts, not exactly a ringing endorsement of more cuts. Then in the media conference, Ms. Bullock was quite strident. She rammed home the point, saying the decision to cut rates wasn't a laydown was there yesterday. Don't expect another one. It all depends on the data. The board's decision does reflect falling inflation in the economy, first reduction in more than 4 years, though monetary policy is still restrictive. That means that it's actually taking away from the economy rather than putting into the economy. Bunch of unknowns going on, US tariff policy, just how fast the economy is growing, whether or not we can supply all the goods and services to it. She's also not that confident that price pressures have left the housing sector, worried about the services sector. Plenty of unknowns out there. So she said this might be a one-off.
So what was the response to this? No doubt anyone with a mortgage would be happy, but the federal government, I would imagine, would be pretty happy too.
Election a few months away. Treasurer Jim Chalmers said it was a rate cut Australians need and deserve. The tone of the Reserve Bank, is a bit downbeat, so maybe financial markets weren't as happy. Within minutes of the decision, the major banks had announced they'd lower mortgage rates, cutting about $1,000 a year from a $500,000 home loan.
All right, on to story number 2 now, and BHP has turned in a disappointing underlying profit of $8 billion for the second half of last year and cut its dividend to its lowest level in 8 years.
Weak demand for steel out of China hurt the value rather than the volume, the value of BHP's iron ore exports. The underlying result was 23% lower than a year earlier. Coal prices were also softer. Now, boss Mike Henry said he's seeing tentative signs of recovery in China. The reason for the lower dividend is so BHP can invest in other commodities, especially copper. In the last couple of years, BHP has spent $13 billion buying copper mines, including Oz Minerals, which was listed on the ASX. It tried to buy Anglo American for $75 billion, got knocked back. Mike Henry yesterday said probably won't have another go at that. Certainly, when you listen to BHP, they talk copper and then copper and then copper. Iron ore, they still sell plenty of it, but copper is the future. When asked about global trade tensions, he really said he didn't know where things will land. This is Mike Henry, the CEO. BHP's share price dropped initially, but ended the day up slightly.
On to story number 3. Virgin Australia's plans to resume long-haul flights using Qatar planes has been given the green light by the competition watchdog.
The Australian Competition and Consumer Commission's draft decision said the tie-up between the two carriers will be good for travellers, talked about enhanced products and services for air travellers, better choice of international flights, better connectivity, convenience, loyalty programs, all that sort of stuff. Now we just need the Foreign Investment Review Board to approve Qatar's bid to buy 25% of Virgin, and hopefully this all comes to fruition. Now, yesterday, data from the competition watchdog on domestic travel was also released. What was really interesting, Rex obviously went into voluntary administration. Virgin has picked up most of the market share. So in December, they had 35% market share of the domestic market, ahead of Qantas at 34.6%, Jetstar at 29%.
That's incredible. Story number 4, the Times Higher Education Reputation Rankings is among the most recognised, yes, great name, isn't it? Among the most recognised rankings of global universities, and the latest list, here's some good news, includes 10 Aussie institutions in the top 300.
So it surveys 55,000 academic experts. Melbourne Uni amongst the Australians came in top at 47, University of Sydney at 60, Monash at 63. Also in that top 100, University of Queensland, Australian National University and the University of New South Wales. Internationally, Harvard in Boston came in at number 1. MIT and Oxford, the University of Oxford in the UK, they came in equal second. Across that 300, 71 were in the US, 39 in the UK, Germany was 27. Then there was a gap to a bunch of countries, which included Australia, which does suggest we're doing pretty well in the higher education stakes.
Last one, story number 5. This is a cracker. Middle management, Sean, doesn't have the sex appeal that it used to have, according to a new survey with younger employees, especially Gen Z, seeing it as a thankless slog, while Wall Street's most senior banker has let fly at work from home.
Survey first, 2,000 white-collar professionals by recruiter Robert Walters. 800 of those were Gen Z employees. Half of those didn't want to be middle managers at all. They said high stress, low reward, long hours, endless firefighting, tedious personnel management, according to an FT report. If you don't have middle managers, I don't know how you go from low management to high management. Anyway, even better, Jamie Dimon, boss of JP Morgan, he teed off at Gen Zers, otherwise known as Zoomers. In a leaked report to the Wall Street Journal, he complained of slow decision-making, phone calls going unanswered, young recruits being left behind due to work from home. He criticised Zoomers for spending all their time on the video app Zoom instead of physical offices. And I quote, "Don't give me this shit that work from home Fridays works. I call a lot of people on Fridays and there's not a goddamn person you can get a hold of." End of quote.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It is Wednesday, the 19th of February, 2025. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed, wherever you listen to podcasts. So head along to fearandgreed.com.au to sign up for our free weekly newsletter. It comes out today. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 business news by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.